nothing risk, then nothing gain. Take a risk or lose the chance. And if your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of success will probably be too high. But realize, your mind is like a t-shirt. When it stretch, it never go back to its original size. So just try. We all wanna get in big rooms for what we pursuing, but the biggest room in the world is room for improvement.
I'm at the premiere, politicking with Top Nip and Snoop. Damn, cock watching the way we grew from dedication.
I fuck with y'all little podcast.
For the YouTube people, welcome back to Just Another Podcast 137. Let me turn the volume down. Let me get y'all back on. Boom, 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 boom. Y'all can speak now.
Thanks, everybody. All at once.
I got B Hood in the back on the cameras. V's in here. Brother Els, Keith, Liddy, Zay, Willie, Top G, Chris Featherston. Make sure you say the Featherston. Welcome to the Chris Featherston podcast.
I'm still rolling with that, bro.
This is your show.
That's not.
I'm your host,
audio, no.
Deem the Great, a.k.a. the People's Champ, a.k.a. Baldy with the glasses, and I got another great one for y'all.
That's right.
I kind of like Baldy with the glasses.
That's what they be calling me on TikTok when the women are triggered. They try to shame me. I'm bald, bitch. I don't care. Anyway, and I got on Cartier frames, but okay. Anyway,
We'll
I got
the Eminem approach.
Rule number 10.
Rule number, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm 8 minutes in already, and they my rules.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just trying to play by the rules. That's all.
And I got a great episode for y'all. He's back for the second time. Mr. Make It Happen, my boy Moody. What y'all, the big effing media company, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And they killing it out
biggest.
here. 820 subs. Real
1,000.
quick. Huh?
820,000.
Okay, my fault. I put K up there, my bad.
That's
No disrespect. No disrespect was me.
Let's be clear.
That's crazy.
820,000 subscribers.
That is insane, bro.
Crazy.
It did a pause for that, bro. Almost a million.
Big.
Got the bomb for that.
That's what's up.
Live events, merch. Make sure you get you a knife, some seasoning. Flour just went on sale. It's already gone.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let him talk about that, bro. Welcome. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Doing good, man.
Happy to be here. Y'all maximize the space in here really nicely. I'm learning.
We tried to.
Like,
We need a little more space.
I do good.
Where y'all want to start at, bro? Because I found you. Actually, Willie put me on to you. He was like, "Yo, that dude over there, he be killing stuff during the pandemic, right?"
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to go do this episode again because the first one was kind of trash. It's not my fault, but we're gonna make it right. I'm gonna be accountable. It's my show, right?
Go back and watch the other one, though.
Please, yeah. I mean, go back, but this is gonna be better. I promise. But Matt was like revitalizing the space. People were stuck in the house, and you were doing these online cooking classes every week.
Right.
And I became, I tell people all the time, I'm a master chef now. I think I'm pretty damn good.
This stuff
What-
looks good.
It tastes good too, bro.
Okay. That's how people do me. Like, it looks good, but it tastes good.
No, it tastes good
backhanded
too.
shit.
It tastes good too. But tell people how you kind of got into that space. What made you go from, because you already was doing well in your career anyway.
Right.
And then you decided to jump into this. You're not like a classically trained chef.
Right.
But I mean, I know the shit good because I make it and I go off the recipe and it's hitting. So
I
and then
mean,
you got
so-
Moody with you, and Moody's been day one.
He makes me look good. So
Yeah,
shout out
facts, so-
Moody's the cameraman. He does a little bit of everything for me. He's more than a
Facts. He be
camera.
cooking too.
Business partner. He does a little bit of everything. But so yeah, I was working in corporate America. I won't say the company, but a relatively big bank, Fortune 500 company. And I was doing that, and then the pandemic hit. I always cooked, so I've been cooking since I was probably 18, 19 years old when I first moved out and got the apartment. And I'm not big on, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm not, if it wasn't for what I'm doing business-wise, I wouldn't be a social media person because I wasn't posting a lot of stuff on social media. But friends would come over. We would always have the house that people would hang out at. People were like, you should post this on Instagram. So I started doing that, and it kind of started to get traction and take off. And then I was like, well, now I'm like, okay, I saw the business side of it. It's like, well, I like to do this, and I also understand
Business
how to
stuff, yeah.
monetize things. So let me kind of marry the two together. And the pandemic hit, and like right at the same, so we started our YouTube channel January before the pandemic. So I think part of this is kind of getting lucky too. Like you got to have talent, you got to have work ethic, you got to have all of that stuff. But luck plays a key too. So we started it at the best time, in my opinion, to do some food related stuff because everybody's at home, everybody's got to cook. So we started it at that point, and then we had immediate success. Like the YouTube channel kind of caught traction. Everything was doing well on social media. So I just rode the wave and kind of took a lot of the stuff that I learned from corporate America and applied it to what I'm doing now, and it's paying off.
All-purpose seasoning is a must.
Yep,
The
definitely.
hot, the lemon bay. You just dropped the all-purpose flour.
Yep, seasoned flour just dropped on Friday. It's probably gonna be sold out by the time you put this up.
Yeah, for sure. No, it will be.
It's almost sold out now. So, but I mean, part of that is like inventory, right? So I think sometimes people will order just a small amount of stuff and then they like to say that they're sold out.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. That's a marketing tactic.
Yeah, for sure. The scarcity model. But yeah, I mean, really it's more about like just making sure that the packaging is right. I didn't want to order 10,000 units and then send it out and the flour's bust in the bag before it gets to you. So just quality control basically. But
So Matt, you have said several times on YouTube that you're self-taught. So what does that mean? So you say you've been cooking since you're 18. Like, how did you actually become a self-taught person that learned how to cook that way?
So I mean, really, I got like an obsessive personality. So when I get into something, I immerse myself in it until I figure it out. So I started cooking so I moved out real early. So I moved out before I turned 18, had an apartment when I turned 18. And then you kind of got to cook to feed yourself. I had a situation where my roommate had to get the boot. So I was living in the apartment by myself. I had budgeted for 2 people. It was only me. So obviously you got to cook at home. So that kind of got me into cooking.
Dope.
And we were throwing parties and like promoting parties when I was younger. So people would come to my house before we would go out, and I would always cook something and people would compliment you. So once you start getting the compliments, you're like, oh, maybe I'm good at this. And you kind of like double down on it and keep, seeing how far you can take it. And again, I'm obsessed with stuff. So like when I get into something and I feel like I'm good at it, I'm going to keep seeing how far I can take it. So that's kind of the origin story.
I had a question too. You said a minute ago that you learned a lot of things that you applied to what you're doing now and that helped you with your success. What were some of those things those traits or whatever you want to call it that you took from whatever you were doing before and brought it over to help you be successful in this area?
Man, everything. So I didn't go to college, but the company I worked for was college for me. So I was backtrack all the way back to the apartment situation. I was working. I had to get a second job. I was a manager at Finish Line, which started my shoe addiction. We talk about that later too. But I went and got a second job. So I had 2 full-time jobs once my roommate got removed from the apartment. And at that time, there was a person that was working with me. I was a supervisor at like BJ's Wholesale Club, like a Costco basically. And she had just got fired from this bank that I worked at. But she was like, you're good with people. You could talk to people. You should apply for this job. I was like, they're not gonna hire me. I don't have a college degree. I don't have anything that I thought would help me get that job at what I thought was like a prestigious bank. I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, I applied, got the job, and started it from there. But everything, like they taught me, I didn't know anything going into the job. They taught me everything about business, like marketing, just how to set things up, I started in sales. So obviously sales is a huge thing that I have going on now with all the products and things like that. So literally everything that I know, I learned from that job. I worked there for 10 and a half years.
Well, with that being said, your marketing background, were there any gaps in actually applying it in an actual business?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it's trial and error. So like everything that you do business wise, you kind of got to test it and see how it plays out. I think having the right, like not being in a rush. I think a lot of people right now I'm experiencing or seeing a lot of people in my field, a lot of people that are cooking on the internet. They see people like me that have a product, so they're in a rush to get a product out. And if the quality of the product's not good, it's going to damage your brand. And people, I'll never buy nothing from you again if the thing that I buy from you is not a good quality product. So like not being in a rush, I think is important, and just being willing to invest in yourself. A lot of people are quick to try to make some money, but they don't want to put any money into the business first.
Big facts.
And that's how I started it. Like when we started, I was paying Moody out of my pocket. We was making $0 profit. I was just paying him, out of my pocket. Everything that we did, I funded it myself from the job that I had. And a lot of people are kind of reluctant to do that, I feel like.
How did that link up?
Instagram. So we had a mutual friend. He hit me up about doing some video. I think I might have posted something about looking for a videographer. He responded. And I saw that he knew somebody I know. I'm big on that. Like I like to work with people that I know, or at least somebody can vouch for you before I kind of bring you into my immediate circle. And it just worked out. Like he fits right in. He's like a brother now.
Can you give us like maybe a quick rundown of the process it takes to drop these products? Because it isn't like you're just dropping like a T-shirt. You're actually doing something that people are going to be putting in their body. So can you give us a rundown?
Sure. So with the seasoning, you gotta. So there's a number of ways you can do it. In my opinion, the safest way, or the way that kind of takes a lot of the pressure off of you, is to find what's called a co-packer. So a company that's been in business for a long period of time that already does this for a living. Mine, distributes seasonings and dry goods all across the country to all of the Costco's, all of the biggest places that you currently buy stuff from. So they're reputable. It's not like you're at home in your own kitchen measuring it out, which in some states you're allowed to do, but I think that has a lot of liability to it. So the way it works is I tell them the ingredients that I want to use in the seasoning. They send it to me, like their own ingredients, so that it's the same stuff that we're going to be talking about or using. I measure it out, make the recipe, send it back to them. They make the seasoning, send it to me to test. I give it the green light or tell them to adjust this or that, and then it goes to market.
You did a great job of also, when I was doing the cooking classes, it was always salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder.
Yeah.
And then that was the first all-purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like if you were already vested in the class, and some of those classes we'd be on, it'd be a couple hundred people on them joints.
Yeah.
So you already had that's the base right there.
Right.
$8 a pop, $9 a pop. I did the math. I'm like, he running it up.
Yeah.
And it's I have like 10 of them at my house. You playing me with these big holes in there.
That's part of the business model too.
I know that shit go fast. I'm like, damn, bro,
and it's low sodium, so you can go heavy and not mess the food up.
Genius, bro. I be at the house like, Master genius.
I never would have thought of nothing like that.
You had the Dow Strong partnership, but then your knife is better than the ones I bought from them.
Yeah, and
it was cheaper.
They were supposed to do my knife. So I got a couple stories like that where I was in a negotiation with Dow Strong's a big knife company. I'm not trying to shit on Dow Strong, but it is what it is. I sold a lot of stuff for them. I was like a brand ambassador for them for a couple years, and we were in negotiations for them to do my knife. And then at the last minute, they were like, "Nah." They made up some excuse as to why they couldn't do it. So I was like, "All right, well." I went and sourced out my own knife, found a company that makes them that I could the thing about it is finding somebody that you can work with and make the changes that you want to make instead of them just giving you something they already created
and just throwing your brand on
right. And a lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not really yours, it's theirs, and you're just slapping your logo on it. So having something that you can customize and actually make yours, I think is important, because personally I feel like I know food, I know flavors, so the seasoning's gonna be good. I know what a good knife is, so the knife's gonna be good. But if I'm trusting some manufacturer to just make thousands of things in bulk, that's not really you designing a product.
Facts.
Yeah.
What were some of the specifications that you wanted your knife to be?
Weight, balance is important. Weight, the type of blade, everything down to the design, making it look dope, I think is important. The packaging, making it look like it's a high quality. If you're gonna charge $100 for something, it needs to fit the bill. You can't just throw it out there in a little plastic sleeve.
Agreed.
So just literally everything from the packaging to the actual specifications of the knife, the balance, the weight, the type of blade. I don't want to get too...
Well, your love for high-end goods attributes to that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the same thing that I'm a consumer too, right?
Yeah.
So the things that I feel like you kind of want to put that into your product as well.
Yep.
So...
Right. Are you guys open to representation of any sort? Any partnerships? Or are y'all just running independent right now?
You mean management?
Yeah.
So I actually started a management company
good job.
recently, probably in the last few months. So I feel like what we're doing right now, whatever you want to call it, whether it's influencer or creator, whatever, I don't like any of the names, but I guess it is what it is. There's a gap from the representation side. I think a lot of these there's a lot of middlemen companies that are overseas, or people that don't really know what's going on. They're kind of just leeching off the fact that this stuff is making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they come in and say, all right, well, Coca-Cola wants to pay you $10,000, but really the budget might be 15, and they're pocketing 5, and they're offering you 10.
Yep.
And I started to notice that happening a lot. So I reached out to some people that I used to work with in corporate America. Hey, this is my idea. This is the need. This is the need that I think that is in the marketplace. And they came on board, and we started to represent a few other people that are doing what I'm doing.
We gonna shout them out?
That's what's up.
Sure. I don't know if it's public information as of yet. So I'll
Okay.
Keep it.
Okay, that's why you said it. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna drop it, but
That's what's up.
No, 'cause
They're big names. Though.
big names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all just did a live event.
Yep.
How was that?
Great. So we did an event in New York at Julan. Shout out to Julan for having us.
Oh, let me drop a bomb for you, bro.
We're actually doing another event in New York the day before Mother's Day. We're doing a brunch. So this is the first time we're announcing that.
brunch.
Good stuff.
I might have to get a ticket for that, bro.
Please do.
Yeah, I might have to slide.
Please do. But it was more of a meet and greet at Julan. It was nice to like get in front of everybody and have time to kind of talk to the people that make all of this possible. It's still mind blowing to me that so many people want to take pictures and like talk to you about stuff. Like I'm still not used to that, but it's a dope experience to be able to sit down and get to know the people that support you and make things happen for yourself.
When you're looking to stand next to certain talents, like you said, are you mindful of what talents you take on, or you want to diversify your cooks per se?
So yeah, I think it starts with everything with me is about who I like and who I want to be around and work with. I start there because otherwise it starts to feel like a chore, and I kind of set my life up in a way, or I'm trying to, so that I don't have to do anything I don't want to do.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah, so it starts with like just us being able to click, and not necessarily just me liking you, but you liking me, right? And us being able to gel and work well together. And then, some of the folks that I'm working with right now, they live pretty close in proximity, so it just makes sense for us to be able to do things together. And just I want to be able to add value. Like if I see, really what it started with is I was in like this group chat with a bunch of other chefs, probably like 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and I would have conversations with them, and they got bigger followings than me, but they live at home with their parents, so they're not making any money. And I know what I'm making. And I'm like, y'all should be making way more money than what I'm making. So part of what I get enjoyment or fulfillment from is helping people reach,
that potential.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's enough for us to all get money and all have success. There's 8 billion people in the world. Everybody got to eat 3 times a day. Me showing you how to make a couple dollars is not going to take any food out of my life.
For sure.
So that's the way I look at it. And honestly, like I'm at a point in my life where I get the most fulfillment out of doing stuff for others or helping other people. Like I've done whatever I wanted to do for myself. I've been doing it, and over time you start to lose the enjoyment of just buying clothes or
Me and you had that
going on a
conversation.
trip or
Yep.
doing whatever. It starts to become like, all right, well, what can I do to give back, or what can I do to help other people?
You taste testing?
Huh?
You taste testing?
Yeah, for sure.
All of it? Everybody that you
Their food?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
you have to.
Got to.
Have y'all ever had anybody y'all like it look good and you try to give it a little taste test and it's not
There,
up to snuff?
there's definitely been people that I've cooked with where I was unimpressed with their food.
Now has it
We're not
been
gonna be messy and say no names.
No, I'm not gonna say no names, but has there been
No,
instances?
you know me, I be ready to get messy.
But has there been instances where you've tasted the food and you can taste the potential and maybe they're just a slight tick off, maybe where you can help them out?
So I don't want to sit here and act like Gordon Ramsay, like I'm the best chef in the world, but I take it very seriously. Whereas there's a lot of folks that, they got an iPhone and a ring light and they recorded something they cooked and it went viral, and now they got this platform. Or some of it doesn't even really look good. It just was an easy recipe or a unique spin, or maybe they did a good voiceover. It was funny. Like it could be a number of things that make your content do well. But I feel like if you're going to be somebody that's cooking, you should care about the end product too. Like I can read somebody's recipe and tell whether or not they just made that shit up or if it's something they actually tested. So yeah, I mean, I'm the type of person, I want to cook it a few times before I put it out and let everybody try it, because I feel like I only got one shot. Like you try my recipe and it's trash, you're not going to come back to me to learn the next one.
I was just telling a friend of mine the story 2 years ago when I had you come cook on the YouTube channel. So I'm telling Matt, I'm like, yo, we should cook this. We should cook this. This is healthy. Matt was like, I've never cooked that, and I don't think that's gonna taste good. I was like, bro, it's supposed to be healthy. He's like, nah, I'm not putting nothing out. This is 800,000 subscribers ago, and he still was like, nah, like quality control. He's like, yo, I'm not putting it out if it don't taste good. I was like, fair enough. He's like, so I don't really know how to cook something that's supposed to be necessarily healthy.
I was like, no butter. He's like, no butter.
bro, he pushed back. He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting that out. So I was like, bro, just do your thing then. So nah, you've always had that integrity about your stuff from day one, bro. So shout you out.
Where oh, I'm sorry, bro.
No, you got it.
Where did Mr. Make It Happen come from? Where did the name come from?
Nothing related to food. So, long story short, there's a friend of mine that was having a bachelor party. His best man, as the best man, he's supposed to set everything up and make everything happen. I'm just a bystander at the. I mean, we're friends, but I'm not the best man. I'm just there. I know the guy that is the best man, and we give each other a hard time. He basically dropped the ball on the entire weekend. Like the hotel situation fell through. It went to shit, and I came in and I called this hotel and like got a room block and like kind of put everything together. And then for the rest of the time there, I was like, when you address me as Mr. Make Shit Happen. So I was just messing with him the whole weekend, and then I to the point where I changed my Twitter name to Mr. Make It Happen, and I just kept it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said at the beginning, Moody make you look good.
Yes.
And I sit and talk with Moody all the time. I come to your office sometimes and chill, and we talk about videography and his editing skills. And as y'all have progressed, the level up is visible, right? Moody, you being real quiet. Tell us about how you making it look good, man. You make it happen too.
Yeah, I mean, just going before this, I had no prior experience of filming food. Like I was doing a lot of freelance, and I wanted one client. I was tired of working with this person, dealing with this, waiting on this money up and down. So it was just learning him and learning his skill. And then I was doing research. Daniel Skiffer.
Okay.
He's like the GOAT when it comes to food content.
Okay.
And I was just seeing what he did. Matt was sending me YouTube channels like, hey, look at this channel and see how the video flow and stuff like that. So just working at it. And I mean, you see how he is, so he want me the same way. Like, as I get better, you should be getting better as well. So it's
now y'all got a team. They not here. Shout out to Rhino and Jamel. But y'all all, I see Jamel with the camera. I see him cooking up reels. I see, everybody's trying to work, and you kind of teaching them the tutelage on how to get the imagery right.
Yeah.
That's the key, man. Having a team is the biggest asset. Like
facts.
To scale and to be where I want to be down the road, there's no way I could do it by myself. So that's shout out to everybody that's a part of what we got going on.
I'm gonna drop a bomb for them too.
Yeah. So what's next for the media company? Like what does 2023, 2024 look like for you guys?
So we just closed on a new warehouse. We got the first one in October, and we outgrew it by February, March. So way faster than the 3-year lease that I signed. It's like almost 7,000 square feet, so it's a big space.
Good shit, bro.
We got multiple offices. We're gonna put a podcast room in the back, media room. Most importantly, we have the warehouse space now to support all the products that we want to launch. I'm in the process of working on cookware. We just dropped a seasoned flour this past Friday. I'm doing products for the clients that we have from the management side, so I'm putting out their seasoning. I'm showing them, how to get a seasoning off the ground, leveraging my relationship with the people that do my seasoning, and then just helping them understand how to everybody's not business not that they're not business savvy, but everybody didn't spend 10 and a half, 11 years on the floor in corporate America doing this for a living. Some people had another job that didn't involve marketing and sales. So it's not necessarily that they're ignorant to it, but it's just that wasn't in their wheelhouse. So I'm just taking the things that I've learned and helping them, grow their business as well. So we need a lot of space to do that because we got some folks that are selling a whole lot of products. So
hell yeah,
I seen.
Yeah,
like
18-wheeler truckloads.
Yeah, y'all going crazy in there, bro. What is for the foodies for the people that are not aware?
So it's basically the idea, the concept is starting a new food network. I feel like cable television is kind of dying off. I think the future of media and content in general is going to be more a la carte, where I want to subscribe to this, I want to subscribe to that, I'm going to have my streaming service, I'm going to have my food show, I'm going to have my podcast, whatever the case may be, versus today where it's like Food Network, no offense to them, they got the same talent on there for the last 20 years. It's mostly boring. I think that people aren't really watching it as much. And the things that make me think that are everything's gimmicky, right? All of the cooking shows are, what can you do in 5 minutes with liquid nitrogen and your left hand tied behind your back? Once you get to that point, it's like we're running out of stuff to do, and nobody's watching. So I think, but on the flip side, you turn on Instagram and you look at YouTube, there's food content that's got 5 million, 10 million views. So that tells me people still want this information. They still care about this entertainment value. They just don't want to watch that shit anymore. So my idea is to like basically make a new network. It sounds like a lofty goal, but I want to be able to take what's happening in the creator space on social media and YouTube and build a network out to where people can still, get the same thing that they want, but maybe in a longer form or longer format and like more in depth to get to know the people a little bit better and stuff like that. So that's the concept. And there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to talk about it before it.
Yeah, no doubt. I just want to,
happen.
for your people that came to the last video, so I want to give them all the information I can that you'll divulge today.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell your 820K club?
Thank you.
And if you on my video, thank you too. Right. Hit subscribe. Make sure you do what my baby says.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Don't start. Come on, let's get to the
Oh, yeah.